I thought I was gonna hit traffic because I was actually me and Rob Cavastani were out jamming with Rob Flynn and some of the guys in Machine Head for some jams this Friday. It's Rob Flynn's birthday, and he's having this electric happy hour birthday jam, and he asked me and Rob to come and play some songs, and we were just rehearsing. I go, dude, I gotta go.
I shot your set at Hellfest a couple of years.
In 2019?
Yeah, 2019.
Yeah, we went on at what?
Yeah.
Noon?
Yeah, I saw it.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, it was a hot day.
It was a hot day. I was actually hoping I'd get to see you guys, at a smaller, slightly more intimate stage, nice lights and all of that.
Yeah.
But you guys went on middle of the afternoon. I think it was a Sunday.
Yeah, man, that's the festivals are great. Don't get me wrong. I love playing them. It's fun. You get to see all the other bands that you get to play with. It's like a summer camp. But, when they tell you, okay, you're going on at this time, you're like, I probably prefer to go on later in the afternoon in the tent with lights and,
Yeah.
But, I guess you get what they give you.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, always, Death Angel from the early days, I've been listening to sort of metal music for 35 years. And it's always been one of my favorite bands. Like I said, I was super excited when I heard you guys were coming to Asia. Tell me a little bit about the tour. I know you've done sort of first half of the year, you've been in the US. Is this a sort of continuation of the 2020 tour? It's the Bass Strikes Back, right?
It is actually. I mean, we already did the Bass Strikes Back in Europe. We did 2 rounds in the States, and I think we're done, with those territories. And the offer came up to do Manila and Japan. And why not? This package hasn't been to those countries, so we decided, all of us were free and decided to go out there. And I'm pretty sure we'll probably hit other countries with this lineup, Australia and South America, but that's left to be determined. But we're excited to get to the Philippines and, Japan. Japan's always great, but Philippines, have it's the motherland for me. So
yeah,
we played there. This is going to be our 5th time playing there. And recently I was just there on vacation. So we're really looking forward to it.
Oh, amazing. What is the response like? What are the audiences like for this genre of music?
In the Philippines or in worldwide?
Just worldwide.
It varies per country. Some countries are, for example, Latin and South America. The last time we were in South America, they're very, very loud and passionate. Just like if you were going to watch a football game, or if you're an American soccer.
Yeah.
It like that. Then you get to Europe. It's depending on what part of the continent you're in. Each countries are different. The Spanish country, Spain, is really loud. Germany, it's funny with Germany. Some cities they mosh pit crazy. Some cities they just fist bang, and some cities are just there, just enjoying the show. Well, it all depends on certain cities and countries. Really, they're all different reactions, but they're all really good reactions.
Yeah, and you guys go back into Europe second half of the year with Sacred Reich, right?
Yeah, Sacred Reich. And there's an opening band. I just don't know how to say their name.
I was hoping you'd say their name, and I didn't have to. I know they're a Spanish thrash metal band.
Yeah, up and coming. We actually, I saw them at Dynamo Fest last summer, because we played the Dynamo Fest, and they were really, really good. So, I mean, it's a 3-band package. It's good. It's only a short run in Europe, like 3 weeks. I mean, us Sacred Reich co-headlining their opening, and really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah, that'll be amazing. Yeah, that'll be amazing. But how did this lineup come together? Is there sort of, do you guys ever think about touring with bands outside of your genre as well?
We always think about that, and we're talking about it now as we speak with management and booking agents. I don't know, the last time we actually stepped out, there was a couple of tours where we did step out of our genre. In 2014, we did a tour in North America supporting Children of Bodom. I mean, yeah, still same metal, but they're more of the Scandinavian types, like death metal genre, which that tour went really well. And another tour we did was it was a mixed match of bands. It was Devil Driver, Death Angel, Wings of Plague, The Agonists, and Azrael from Australia. It was really weird. I mean, we want to. It's hard. I don't know. It seems like nowadays, from our perspective or my perspective, it seems like when you throw thrash bands together, it just seems to go well.
Yeah.
We're supposed to throw a thrash band with maybe uh, a band like if you throw us in a Lamb of God, for some reason people think it doesn't go well. But we played in Poland with Arch Enemy, and that went well. I guess it depends on the territory, politics. I have no idea. We're still trying, but it'd be nice. We talked about we want to go out with bands like Gojira, Mastodon, maybe even step out of the box even further, or Volbeat, but it'd be great just to reach out to different fans, because the thrash fans is, it's a lot of them, but we want our music to be heard beyond thrash.
Yeah, I think that's probably the primary reason, right? To sort of get new audiences and to, spread your music outside thrash itself.
Yeah,
but
do that.
Talking of Gojira,
but sometimes like people, they want you. We want to do that, but fans don't want you to do that because they're like, I don't want to see you if you're playing with them, or we'll see you when you've come around with Testament or something. Nothing against them, but the people just feel comfortable.
Yeah,
it's just thrash band.
Yeah, talking of Gojira, there's an Indian band called Bloodywood. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Oh no, I haven't. I heard of a band. We played the few shows from India, Cryptos.
Yeah.
Great guys, and a good band too. We a few years ago we did some shows with them in Europe.
Yeah, amazing band, and they tour a lot.
Yeah, they do. That's good for them.
Yeah. But Indian metal is sort of there are more bands that are on tour. There's another band called Amorphia that's playing Japan. Actually, the same dates as you guys.
Wow, from India.
From India, yeah, thrash metal band from India.
Awesome,
solid, old school sort of thrash metal. But tell me, Ted, is there a new Death Angel album in the works?
Yes, slowly working on it. I mean, I'll just say, we have some skeleton. They still got to be worked on. There's stuff there. We just got to work on them more and write more. But of course, there's going to be a new Death Angel album. But when, don't know. I don't want to say it's going to be next year because you can't really predict the future. I could tell you we're going to record in April, but something might come up where we go, oh, that's a good tour. We might as well just hold off, until we're kind of definite and there's a date lock. We have no activity. We're going in at this time. I could tell you a set date. But yeah, there will be a new record. We just don't know when we're going to start recording. And we do have some songs, but we want to write some more. But they're all in the infancy stages.
Yeah. And you guys tour a lot as well, right?
Yeah. We, ever since post-COVID, we did some touring and, things have changed. So we have some stuff till the end of the year and we don't know what's going on for next year. So we want to, right now we want to get as much touring because I don't think our latest album, Humanicide, didn't get enough touring behind it. We want to do more of it, write music and record. But we'll see what happens. Can't predict the future.
Yeah. But are you surprised in a sense that, sort of 40 years later, we're still here talking about thrash metal and just sort of the genre is flying high, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, I remember, because I grew up in the 80s, I was a late bloomer. I mean, I know a lot of course, Death Angel started in 82. A lot of bands started in that early era. And I jumped into the scene around 86, and it had a good run. Then it, of course, as you know, it stopped. The whole 90s death metal emerged, did a huge thing, the grunge. Everyone talks about grunge, but, people forget there was death metal. That was pretty big. Then, of course, late 90s, 2000s came and the new metal and then, of course, the Slipknots and all that stuff, and it came around. But, it seems like every decade there's a cycle. So, but it seems to be happening all the time. I heard new metal is making it back. Who knows? grunge might make a big comeback. A lot of genres are making comebacks, but it seems to happen in 10-year cycles.
Mhm.
But it's good that thrash metal is still alive. It's probably bigger than it ever was, and it's a
Yeah.
good thing. I mean, you know, thrash metal's it's not for everyone, but I'm glad it's there. It's getting the recognition didn't uh it deserved. I mean, there was the Big Four that got recognized back in the day, of course, and they're still huge, but Us, Testament, and all that seem to be, have a wider audience than it has back then. I think it's
Yeah. Do you ever think about that? The whole Big Four or Big Five or Big Six, whatever?
never. I don't. I got tired of it. I mean, I could tell you with the Big Four, I get it. It's based on sales.
Yeah.
They sold. They're on major labels. Yeah, they're the Big Four, but I don't think about Big Five and all that. We got other things to worry about. Let's just get some music, get some touring, and try to keep our band going. I don't worry about labels like that.
Yeah, but what is the music scene like today? Obviously, in the 80s, there were lots of places to play and things like that in San Francisco itself. What is the thrash metal scene like today?
It's different. It's definitely not the '80s, of course. The '80s, I'm glad we lived it, but that whole era is never happening again because it's just a different time. But there's a lot of good bands coming out right now. There's a lot of good bands playing in San Francisco. I mean, our drummer Will Carroll, he would know more about it. He lives in San Francisco and he DJs a lot of clubs and he DJs a lot of shows. But I mean, there's some clubs, not as much as it used to be, but the scene it's happening, but it's just different.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Yeah, because I think about that, and I'm sure there's a positive, sort of silver lining in all of it. Yes, while it's not what it was 40 years ago, obviously, I'm guessing there's a silver lining, and I'm sure there are bands coming out, you know, and there's sort of streaming platforms and things like that where you can get your music out.
Yeah, I mean the internet changed a lot of things, for the good, for better or for good.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the internet's great to discover new bands. Of course, a lot of people will complain like, oh, I miss my magazines and all that. But, people complain like, you know what, you could just listen to music. If you don't like it, stop it. I mean, it's just how you use it.
Yeah.
I think it's great. We're Zooming now. If
Yeah.
we had this back then pre-internet, long distance phone call would cost a lot of money. We got to,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
so I think, the internet's awesome.
Yeah.
It's just how you use it.
Yeah, but I think even back in the day, I think one of the amazing things was that, every country, even as far back as the 80s, every country had their own sort of metal scene. And I think sort of tape trading was a big thing back then, right? I think a lot of it got around trading tapes and demos and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, tape trading was awesome. I tape traded too. There was just something about that era that only probably you or I and everyone else in our age will understand of like, because we lived through that 80s thing of tape trading. It's like just something about it where today don't understand, like you have to write them and you're waiting for that tape, that anticipation of can't wait and that whole thing. You waited so long and you finally get it, you appreciate it and you play it. And, even though it's okay, you still play it and you still hold on to it. But now our scene was built off tape trading. Everyone was just making tapes and sending it to each other. But the difference was during that time, the 80s, even late 70s, 80s, the whole 80s, everybody, I was talking about this with somebody, everybody, every genre, not only metal, new wave, rock and roll, soul, and all that, everyone hung out at record stores.
Yeah.
So even though you get a tape or a dub tape of an album that came out early, you'll still go buy the record. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a different time. I missed it in a way, but it's never coming back. So I got to think about now moving forward.
Yeah, but tell me, Ted, like back in the day, I'm sure you used to go to lots of shows, right? I think upcoming artists supporting each other was a big thing back then. Right? Everybody went to each other's shows. Do you still get time to go to other bands' shows or upcoming thrash metal bands' shows and things?
I do my best if I'm at home, and if it's a band I really want to see, I'll go out. But there's so many shows, it's hard to get out. I mean, we're not spring chickens no more. I mean, we're not like young, living at your parents, no responsibility whatsoever, where you could just go out into the wee hours of the night and just hang out. We're older now. We have responsibilities. We have mortgages to pay. So, and I get a chance when I can. Like was it last Thursday? I went to see Havoc, that band Havoc, and talk Holocaust. They came to town the same night as Overkill. Some of us went to Overkill, and I went to Havoc. And all these new bands like Havoc, Toxic Holocaust, man, great bands, man. And they're really, coming up and kicking ass. So it was good to see that.
Yeah, but like you're saying, I think the internet's also worked in sort of bridging the divide between subcultures, right?
Yeah.
So there's possibly more collaboration and things like that.
Yeah, for example, you've been to Hellfest. I mean, that festival is a mix of so many genres where people will go and just enjoy the music. I mean, the festival is, that time we played, I think, was it Leonard Skinner and Tesla? The same day as us. Like, I mean, I don't think you could do that here in America because you put a thrash band and everyone, thrash band. But over there, you're like, oh, that's diversity where people enjoy, where, I'll see Leonard Skinner and, well, who's this Death Angel or who's this band? They'll at least give it an open ear to check out. And, with those festivals, a lot of people from a lot of countries come. So it's like a good, I've talked to a lot of people. Well, I met so-and-so from this country, this and that. Or we met and we have the same thing in common. And now they're friends and they keep in touch or they visit each other. I think that's awesome, Yeah,
I think there's like 300 different countries. And, you're right. Yes, especially
I see how metal music just, it reaches, I think it's one of the genres that could reach beyond like other countries. I mean, like Testament played Timbuktu not that long ago. People who go to like, of course, not that many people go to India, but a lot of metal bands go to India. I think Iron Maiden kind of opened up that door for other bands to go there. You have your own festival, and all these countries are starting to have festivals because metal is just, we never thought there's fans out in these countries. We just thought it's just Europe. The main countries like Europe, North America, Japan, Australia. That's it. But you hear about South America, India. Oh, we played Kuala Lumpur. We played Singapore. It's just amazing to see all these, metal fans out in these countries, and you're able to go there because people heard of you. It's a great feeling.
Yeah. India, like I said, India's got a big metal scene. Africa has got a huge underground metal scene as well.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we'd love to go to those countries, but it's so far out, and getting out there, the logistics and all the financial stuff, and I mean, I'm pretty sure it could happen. I mean, if Iron Maiden could get out there, any other band could get out there, but
I know, but
the huge band.
But touring has changed substantially, right? I mean, it's a lot more expensive now, but
yeah, it is. I mean, it's just like with any other industry, prices go up, but your salaries stay the same. You have to do double the work, or it's no different than any other industry. It is very expensive. It sucks, but we have, just everyone's on the same boat. Every band does their thing different. So for us, we're just trying to find a way. How could we still tour with prices going up and still be able to make it work financially? It's a lot of thinking, a lot of moving parts you have to deal with. So I mean, every year it changes all the time. So you got to figure out new strategies and like, oh well, what we did last year, we can't do it this year because the landscape is totally different.
Yeah. But one of the things I keep telling people is the best way to support the band that you like or love is to go out to their shows and buy their merch and things like that. Because, I mean, streaming being streaming, I mean, there's just nothing there.
Yeah, I mean, there's ways. I've been thinking about this for a long time because, like I said earlier, things change all the time. Like, with the social media platform like Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook, it's I think you have to do more engaging on those social platforms so the algorithms read it, and the more engaging a fan does, they keep feeding them stuff. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, but the best way would be to share anything we do. Anytime a band does something, share it, engage. That kind of gets the word out really fast, because sometimes people who follow us, their friends don't normally follow us. So if they keep sharing and sharing, people go, oh, well, let me check this out. And they see it and, oh, great. Word of mouth, kind of like the digital word of mouth.
Yeah, yeah.
That helps, I mean, streaming helps. Everything you do helps.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
Yeah. Do you sort of manage the band's socials as well?
Me and Rob, we do our best to try to put some content up. It's sometimes it's pretty hard when you're off the road. When you're on the road, it's easier, but when you're off the road, you're just trying to figure out, what kind of content can we put up there that our fans like. It's hard. You can't usually try to put the same thing over and over, so you got to get creative. And there's a lot of bands. There's a lot of bands who do that really well. Maybe because they have their own person, but when you can't really afford to have your own person, you kind of do it yourself. But it's hard to us. We're trying to figure it out here. It's a new way of like doing things, but we're figuring out how it goes.
Yeah, I remember a couple of years ago on YouTube, I think Rob and you had put up a playthrough of one of the songs on the Humanicide album.
Yeah.
And I must have watched that like 1,000 times myself.
Oh, thank you.
Watch it all the
like
time.
That. It's cool. But we had somebody, like before Humanicide came out, we had somebody from the label, hey, let's do this, let's do that. They came out, they did it, but it came out great. But when you got no help and we have this idea, but we don't have the equipment, but sometimes just doing it Rambo style, like punk rock, just get your iPhone, film it, do whatever edit you think is great, as long as it's content.
Yeah. No, I hopefully when I come to California the next year, I'll hopefully do something for you guys. That'll be cool.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah, I don't know what our schedule is like next year.
Yeah.
You're here, we're here. We'll hang out.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me, Ted, I want to ask you a little bit about songwriting in Death Angel. Do you, is it like a collaborative thing? How do you guys write? And what's the sort of equation with Rob and you?
Well, when it comes down to writing, it's all Rob. It's all Rob. It starts with him. He comes up with a basic structure, and him and Will get together and they hash it all out and they record it. And when they get it to a point where, oh yeah, this is great, then they send it off to everyone else, and Damien does his parts and Mark will listen to it and try to, write lyrics and melodies, and I'll listen to it and I'll touch base with Rob. What do you want me to do here? Do you want me to play something here, or do you want me to do something different? Because, Rob has a vision and you kind of want to see his vision. And as soon as the song comes together to where it's that, we play it quite a few times, then we could throw in our ideas like, hey, maybe that part should go longer, or maybe cut that out, or Will go, I want to do something different here instead. So, Rob has a vision, we listen, we play along with it. Then if we feel like there needs to be changes, we express our concern. And Rob's really good at, let's give it a try. So we try everything and it comes down to, all right, this is what works. So it starts with Rob. And regarding the lyrics, there's every now and then Rob will pick out a song. I want to write lyrics for this song. And Mark goes, go ahead. But Mark writes all the lyrics. And what he does is with the music, he'll listen to it over and over by himself. I don't know where he goes. He goes into the far corners of the earth by himself with the headphones and music. And he'll come up with so many types of different melodies and stuff, and then come up with the ones he's happy with and lay it down, on the demo form. Then when we get into the real studio, then things start to evolve because we played it so many times, or we listened to it so many times that when we get in there, we go, all right, let's try this. It's always evolving to the point where it's handing it in to get mastered.
Yeah.
It's some songs stay kind of the same from what it was, but we just put more energy into it. Some songs have been rewritten quite a few times, so it differs.
Yeah,
Rob's a songwriter, and on the last album I wrote one song, and it's how it is. And right now I'm writing some stuff, and how it goes is I'll write some stuff, I'll send it to Rob. I always tell him, if it's good, use it. If not, if you find parts are good, use it. If it's not good, it's okay, dude. I'm just, throwing some stuff out there because he knows what the Death Angel sound should be. And if he likes it, use it. If he doesn't, my feelings are not broken.
Yeah, but do you get involved on the production side of things as well?
No, Rob. Rob's all, when it comes to the music, writing and all that production, Rob is there from the very start of when the drums start all the way until it's when we get the album back from the mastering. So he is there every step of the way. That's his thing. He loves it. He's into it. He's good at it. He's been doing it since the Ultraviolence. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
but he does get opinions from everyone, because sometimes your ears could get burnt from listening to that over and over. And I remember on Humana's side, I went over to his house. He goes, "Hey, you want to listen to some mixes?" I go, "Yeah, I listen to it." I go, "So I have fresh ears."
Yeah.
Because I haven't heard anything, because I was listening to it constantly, and I was listening to it, and I go, "This needs to go up. Maybe you could. It sounds too loud here. Bring this down." Rob goes, "Okay, let's try that." And
Yeah.
so he gets a second opinion, but majority of it is all Rob.
Is there a danger of sort of overproducing? We have so much access to so much technology these days, right? Is there a danger of sort of wanting to tweak something till you get it absolutely right, or letting there be a certain organic element?
That's a good question. I mean, that could be answered so many ways, and I guess it depends on who you talk to.
Yeah.
There's bands out there who love doing it the old school way, where they play live and maybe just overdub a few things, and some people just like it, very mechanical, less organic. But I think with today's technology, you could get a record done so much faster. And with the industry changing, and record labels not giving the big budgets as they used to. They're giving really small budgets. People could record their stuff at home. They learn how to do this to make it sound good. And back then everything was done on 2-inch tape. People had the money back then. You could spend months in the studios. There was money getting thrown at you, and there was just something about that vibe. Now it's like, we're older now. A lot of people live in different parts of the countries. They could record their parts at home, send it, producer tweaks it. It's just a different time. But yeah, technology, that's good about it. The bad thing about it is, it could sound a bit sterile and less human. So pros and cons to everything, man. Pros and cons to everything.
Yeah, I guess the danger is it doesn't sound musical enough, maybe.
But I guess this day and age, that's what people are used to. That if you try to revert to the old way, it's so foreign to them. But for us, we're like, "Oh, that's cool. They did it old school. I love it." But the people of today, they probably go, "Oh, it needs to be very on the grid, tight, this and that," where we grew up on. Of course, the Iron Maidens, the Judas Priest. There's something about that vibe where it's loose.
Yeah.
There was a mistake, but it was a mistake that worked. You know what I mean? Where you go, "Oh, I can't go fix it, or I can't replicate it, so leave it." But it's just a different time. But with technology, it's I think it's all due to the fact that people learn how to do things on their own. And they could be their own producers and whatnot, and the saves you money instead of going to big studios and whatnot.
Yeah. Has it made it then sort of easier to be a musician? Just because there's all this tech and there are all these hacks on YouTube and things like that, have the lines sort of blurred?
Wow. When it comes to learning songs and you don't have time to sit there and actually learn it, which you should to train your ear, there's people out on YouTube, man, where you could go look. Oh, like I'll admit, there's a couple of Death Angel songs I had to relearn, and I totally forgot it, and I had looked on YouTube and there it is. You know what I mean? That helps. And is it easier to become a musician? It's. I think there's so many musicians nowadays, more than ever. Growing up, it was just a musician seemed like a unique thing. People plays guitar or plays in a band. Now everyone's playing in a band or plays in an instrument or something.
Yeah.
It's great. It's like, it's good to see people into music, but it's just the whole market's flooded with bands and musicians that sometimes it's really hard to find a good band, because you got to rummage through all these records or CDs, or when you're streaming, you kind of like, it's hard to find new music. And I find new music usually if it's like, my wife's a big Spotify fan, so she'll just put it on shuffle, and I'll listen to it, and I go, "Oh, who's this?" And I'll look at it, and I'll look them up, and that's how I discover new music. Or somebody goes, "You have to really hear this band or hear this artist. I think you'll like them. So I trust their judgment. But those days of like, I'm going to go to a record store and just figure out what I want. It's over. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure there's people out there who do it, but it's not as big as it used to be. So I discovered music from word of mouth from people I trust and respect. And that's how, and through the internet. Or some people post like, hey, you got to hear this band. I go, oh, who's that? Check it out.
Yeah. Because as consumers, Spotify is great, right? It's a great tool to discover new music and new bands.
It's like very much so.
But as an artist, like you said, there's just so many musicians out there. Then sort of making yourself heard is a big challenge as an artist, right? On these platforms.
It is. And, I've talked to people where they go, we did this, we did that. And some people go, no, we did this. Or some people just get lucky. They just put music up because they want to have it. And just somebody happened to run into it and made it big or whatever. Yeah. Some people really have to grind and, put a lot of content out there, talk about their music and, talk to people. Could you put on playlists? Or there's so many things you could do. It's hard. But if you put in the time, you could do it. Because basically you're all, independent artist, you're kind of like your own record label.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, now that I got this music, how do I market it? Or before, like, okay, here's the music. You just go out and play, and everyone, the record label had their own marketing department, their own PR people. They did it all. Now bands could do it themselves. It's just a little more work on you. But I think, talking to a lot of the younger bands who do it, they love it because this is what they grew up on. They grew up on the internet age, and we got to do that. Where, a lot of the legacy bands, some transition good or some, they get successful at it where they hire someone to do it. But for us, it's like, it's new. And we're still, like I mentioned earlier, we're still trying to learn it. And like I said, every time you learn something changes. Oh, you got to do this. Or this is a new thing, or this is a new thing. You're like, man, I'm just learning what I learned 4 steps ago. Now we're 4 steps ahead. It just drives you crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big challenge, right? Yeah, but what is your view on the whole using amp simulators and things like that?
I think me and Rob and Damon, we still use real amps. When we tour Europe or when we tour North America in a tour bus and whatnot, we love to use the real amps and the cabs because that's who we are. But we're also not, oblivious to technology nowadays. I mean, the amp sims, like, for example, the Kempers, the Quad Cortex, we will use them, but it's just how you use them. Like for us, we still love the amps. We'll use it on tour. But when we have to, for example, if we had to go, we got to go to India. Well, then we'll bring one of these guitar sims and that we play with, and we'll figure it out when we get there instead of having to bring your heavy amp. I want to use my amp, or you could use a guitar simulator and go, well, I could get a sound just like my amp here, and I could use it everywhere else. So, we use it that way.
Yeah.
And it's a great technology, man. And it's a great technology. I have Kempers, I have Quad Cortex. They're all great. And, I'm looking forward to using them when we go. I'm going to be using them when I go to Japan and the Philippines. You just put it in your back and figure it out,
Yeah, because it'll change the economics of a show, of a gig itself, right? If the audience doesn't care whether you're playing through, like you said, regular speakers or you're playing through an amp sim, I think that there's potential for the economics itself to change, right?
It could be. I mean, there's people out there when we play, they always ask, are you using a real amp or are you using a guitar sim? So we tell them. And we still use, speaker cabs. I mean, there's a lot of bands out there who just use it as a guitar sim and in-ears, and they don't have all that stuff, so you can't really tell what they're doing. But, we still keep the old school feel and the look of, like, using amps and the speakers. We will always do that, even if we do amp sims. If we had to, for example, fly out to India, do you have any Mesa cabs or do you have any Marshall cabs? We still like that look, and we're going to use it. But we'll have the amp sim in the background to get our sound.
Yeah. But, coming back to sort of Death Angel and playing live, do you have a favorite song that you like to play live? Also, what is the most challenging song you find to play live?
Wow, that's a really good question. Because favorite song to play live changes per tour, depending on my mood or how I have to look at the set list when we play the set list, how it flows. And the last couple of tours, The Moth have been my favorite. it has been my favorite to play live. Something about it, like I guess where it's a great song, and especially where it sits in the set, it's like towards the end, and you're already kind of warmed up. You're like loose. You're like, all right, because that is that's a tricky song to play. Um, the hardest song would be to play. We only played it once live, and it's recorded, and it's on the bass tracks. The Bay calls for blood. The song called Territorial Instinct. It's the last song off the Dream Calls for Blood. To me, that's the hardest song to play. Oh wait, not only that,
Mm-hmm.
the song off the Evil Divide, Cause for Alarm, the second track.
Oh yeah.
We only played that like a couple songs. That's way, way too hard to play. The riffs, the solos, it's hard to play. But I'm glad we recorded it. It's a great song, but I don't know if we'll ever play that live. It's a hard song, man.
Yeah. But tell me, Ted, are you trained musically? Did you study music growing up?
None whatsoever. Everything's by ear, or just I have this thing of just I could pick up something pretty good. If I had to learn something, I could kind of pick it up. But if I watch somebody, oh, that's how you do it, I could pick it up from there. When I come to learn songs, I'll listen to it over and over. Especially if I like it, I listen to it for more of the arrangements.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's the arrangements. They do it 4 times. Oh, the chorus is double. And I'll tell someone, show me the riff. They show, oh, this is the verse. This is the chorus. This is the intro. Once they show it to me, I've already listened to the song so many times. So I just know it. I mean, I don't know music theory or any of that stuff. I just have this thing of picking it up and just show me how to play it. What are you doing? Or, younger, I'd learn things by ear, but no, I'm not musically trained at all.
Yeah, I always wondered if that's a good thing or not, because there are people I've spoken to who have said they're sort of happy that they haven't been trained formally, because there's no sort of formal construct, and it's not limiting creatively in a sense. And then there are the people who I've spoken to who said they did feel a certain pressure through the years to sort of go and study music and things like that.
I guess it all depends. Like I said, in fact, I guess it depends on who you talk to. There's some people, for example, like the who I would like to say who like to very nerd out on the guitar or bass or drum, where they like to know why certain notes talk to each other, or especially at the drum. I like offbeat time. They just like it. Music is not a good or bad thing. It's just what speaks to you. Some people like, for example, Rush is like, to me, the king of prog music. Without Rush, there would be like the Dream Theaters or all these crazy, styles. Rush did it great. And then you have somebody like Dave Grohl, who just don't know anything. He even said, I don't know notes or what this chord does, but he knows what sounds good to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's so many types of musicians, but I appreciate the shredders. I go, wow, you could do that stuff. But I'm more of the school of good songwriting. Like it's a good song. Like if it's catchy, if it speaks to me, all right, I'm into it. But yeah, then there's some stuff that I like every now and then where there's good shredding guitar. I go, oh, I like that, but I don't like all of it. There's some. I'm a big fan of people who write songs, no matter what genre it is, whether it's pop, hip hop, metal, rock, whatever. If it's catchy, I'm in.
Yeah. What were your influences growing up, Ted?
Well, I was fortunate enough to have an older sibling, and I've discovered stuff through him, like Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Journey, Kiss, all that stuff, which is what he got into, and I discovered through him. But it wasn't until like I'll admit, Kill 'Em All, '83, that kind of opened the door for everything for me. You hear that, then you discover Venom, Merciful Fate. You discovered everything underneath the sun. Then I started getting into it. You go, oh yeah, Metallica. I mean, '83. I was like, okay. Then you hear Megadeth. Then you go, well, that dude used to be Metallica. Then you start to go, oh shit, and you start to buy everything. And oh yeah, Kerry King was in Megadeth, but he's a fan. Slayer. You gotta hear Slayer. So Kill 'Em All opened the whole door for me for metal. But I had an older sibling who showed me the Sabbaths, the Zeppelins, the Iron Maiden, Priest, the Journey, the guitarship. So that I was introduced to music to that, but what spoke to me was the metal. So Kill 'Em All was like that opened my eyes to go, what is this, and what else is just as good as this?
Yeah. I also read somewhere, Ted, that you like to repair guitars, and you're quite you're quite into it.
I do. Right here I got a lot of gear and I got a lot of guitars. I'm actually look. I have a soldering iron here, and look at it, man. I'm trying to repair something. I'll show you. Look at that. See all that?
Yeah.
I'm a fan of electronics. I'm not, I could fix guitars and all that, and I do like guitars, but I'm a fan of amps, electronics. Like, why do things work? Like, I'm a nerd. I'm sorry. It's just like I geek out with a lot of road crew people. Like, I'll see their setup. I go, why do you set it up that way? How come? How come you set it up that way instead of this way, which I set it up that way? And I like to know things. And if something gets broken, what happened? Oh, the replace this part. Oh, I know how to solder, because I used to work at not no more, but in between tours, I worked at a music repair shop, and my boss would show me a lot of things, how to fix it. And I get into it. I go, oh, this is cool. I like fixing electronics, especially when it comes to musical gear. I'm like, wow, this is fun, and you learn. And when I'm on the road, I can figure things out on my own. Like, what happened? I know what it is. I can figure it out. I just, everyone has their hobbies. That's kind of like my hobby.
Yeah, yeah. Are you the fixer? Do you sort of on tour? Do you get into Rob's stuff as well and help him fix things?
I have before, but now he has a guitar tech who's very much, he geeks out more than I do. I go, good. There's somebody who can geek out, because after a while, I was just like, I don't have time to do stuff on. But, but when he fixes things, I like to go in there and go, what are you doing? Because I like to learn. Like, oh, that's new. I haven't seen that before. I like to look under the now and then.
Yeah, there's there are these YouTube channels, and they do these rig rundowns, and who's using what. I just find that so fascinating.
I do too. I like to know, like, especially my favorite artists, like, what are you playing on tour right now? I go, whoa, that's interesting. Why? Oh, you have this whole setup where it's wired and what path it's going to. Like, I oh, why do you use that pedal and this and that? Like, what's your setting? Maybe I like the sound of it. Maybe I'll try it. I'm a geek that way, bro.
Yeah. Do you have a large collection of guitars as well?
No, not really. It's scattered all over, like about 20 ESPs, maybe less or something. But I'm more of like I said, Kempers, Quad Cortex, any rack system type deal. I'll just hoard it, and just keep it and just to have something. But not a big guitar collection.
Not a big fan. Ted, last question before I let you go.
Sure.
If you had to pick your top 5 albums of all time,
dude, that's a hard one.
It is.
Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Long After Dark. Metallica's Master of Puppets. Jesus. It could be anything, not metal or whatever, right?
It can be anything.
Okay, I got 2. That's a hard one because it changes for me. But those 2 would be the top 2 for sure.
Yeah.
Tom Petty, Long After Dark, and Metallica's Master of Puppets. If I had to pick another metal record, it would probably have to be Death Angels Act 3.
Yeah, great album.
Okay, I got one for you. I'm trying to think here of the name of the album title. One of Bruno Mars's album, his second album, I think, is Unorthodox Jukebox. That would be 4, right? Was it 4?
Yeah, 4. That's 4.
And wow, you really know how to stump people. The Adele's 21.
Wow, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I like her voice a lot. Something about it, it's really good. But it's, I don't know, that's a good album. Adele's 21, Bruno Mars, Unorthodox Jukebox, Death Angels Act 3, Metallica's Master Puppet, and Tom Petty, Long After Dark.
Yeah, that's it's eclectic.
Variety.
Yeah, it's variety. Yeah, completely unexpected.
On the spot, man. If I had these questions much earlier, I'd really think.
Yeah, I should have said it to you. I was actually going to ask you, do you have like one unforgettable concert or one absolutely crazy crowd that you've seen in the last 22 years that you've played with Death Angel?
I have to thank you for knowing I've been in the band 22 years.
Of course. Like I said, I'm a big fan of the band. I've followed all your careers for a long time.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it will be 22 in August 11th. There you go. That August 11th was my first show with Death Angel. August 11th, 2001. So that would be
wow,
the craziest. There's so many. There's so many. I could tell you my first overseas show with Death Angel was, I think, July of 2002. We played the Dynamo Festival, but the night before we played the FNR in Eindhoven, and that was sold out. The crowd was great. The return of Death Angel. Then the Dynamo Festival itself. So about that, the Dynamo Festival, that first overseas shows. Of course, Thrash of the Titans, the first show, the first comeback show of Death Angel. Those two, But one show I kind of remember really well as far as the loud fans, loudness, rowdiness. It's Sweatbox. It's hot. It was so loud that we couldn't even hear our instruments, and we heard the drums, but we couldn't hear the amps. I remember this. It was in October of 2010. Relentless Retribution came out. We went to South America, and we played Buenos Aires, Argentina, at a place called the Roxy Live. So packed. The crowd was so loud. It was amazing. So that was probably up there as far as one of the best shows I played. Loudest, great crowd reactions. That's the one I remember the most.
Yeah, the South American audiences are amazing. Yeah. Amazing.
Well, we haven't been to India yet. So,
yes.
So far, Buenos Aires wins. But, you haven't hit other territories.
Yeah, so we're hoping next year, and sort of the rumors, at least in the metal community, and everybody's like 2024 Death Angel for sure. And you know how it is, right?
Bangalore is Bangalore, right?
Bangalore. Bengaluru now, but Bangalore, yes.
It's outside, right? It's outdoor?
It's an outdoor festival, yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we gotten offers, like I said earlier. It's hard logistic, financial, but we want to get out there, man. It's just we keep hearing, the metal scene's so great.
Yeah.
The fans are crazy. The people are awesome. The culture, we just want to experience not only the festival itself, because, that's what's bringing us out there is the music, connection to the fans. But we want to experience the Indian culture because I love Indian food. I do a lot.
Really?
And I want some real authentic ones,
Oh, absolutely. You should come. We'll take you around.
I don't want to just come in, then the next day you play, and the next day you fly out. That seems to happen a lot with a lot of festivals. I want to have at least, let us come in the next day. Let's go taste all the food and meet all the people and, immerse yourself in the culture. Then the next day play the festival. Then the next day kind of relax and chill and have more food, immerse yourself, then leave the following day. That's what I want to do. But like with festivals, you fly in, you get in, the next day you play, the following day you leave. So that's what I said. If it could get worked out logistically and financially where we could do that, we're going to come bring you a good show, man.
Yeah, that'll be amazing because, I'm working on a documentary on the sort of evolution of Indian metal, the Indian metal scene, rather. There's tons of good bands. I'll send you some stuff that you should check out when you have time.
Please, you know what? Send it to me and I'll send it to Will because Will loves discovering new bands, especially around the world. Will's one of those dudes where if someone gives him a CD of his band, When you go on tour, people give you a lot of music. Hey, check out my band, blah blah blah. Will listen to everything start to finish without skipping.
Wow.
And
Okay.
he will, and he does find good gems because he found a band from Taiwan called, I forgot their name, but he listens to them on the regular. He finds a lot of bands that just from demos people give him because he listens to it. And I'm pretty sure if you send me some stuff, I'll send it his way, and he'll
Yes.
listen to it all.
Yeah.
Too. I'll give it a listen since it's coming from you. I'll give it a listen.
Yeah, thank you. Because there's some really interesting stuff coming out of here. But yeah, like I said, I'll send it to you and then you can send it to Will. And then,
Yeah,
totally. Great. Thank you so much, Ted. It's been an absolute pleasure.
No, thank you, man. 6 a.m. Jesus. I would have adjusted my time for you, bro.
No, that's all right. No problem at all. No problem. But I really hope I can see you in the Philippines, man.
All right, man. You got the email. I hope make it happen. We could hang out and we'll talk more. And I hope we could make it to India, man.
Absolutely, Ted. We look forward.
Okay, man.
Thanks,
Ted.
Ted.
Morning.
Thank you, Ted.
All right, man.
Catch up soon. Bye.
All right.
Bye.